we're gonna give it a try. I'm gonna film some talking about what exactly I look for on the bottom machine, because I get a lot of questions about that and it's hard for me to kind of put it into words. So I'm going to put it into video and show everybody exactly what I'm looking for. And when I do find something, I'll show you exactly what it looks like, at least on my machine. Everybody's machine is different, but it will give you an overall sense of what you want to look for. All right, everybody, I wanted to give you a little bit of a better understanding of exactly what I'm looking for when I'm looking for new spots. I get asked a lot, you know, what do I look for? What am I looking for? And I've talked about these humps right here. Now, this hump is actually a pretty decent hump right here. But this hump right here, see how it just kind of rolls? Those more than likely are the waves from the ships, the prop wash from the ships. What they're doing is it's gathering up sand and just creating these mounds. So when I'm going over a spot, I kind of have a tendency not to look at these because they're uniform, they're consistent, and you can see it on here how they kind of go up and down. But when we get to an area that has some rocks and things, you'll start to see a difference. I'm coming up to an area right now. I think I'm coming up to it. Let me look real quick. Yep, I'm coming up to it. But this is what I'm looking for. Like right there is hard bottom. See how it has the squiggly lines? This is all hard bottom in here. You can see it how it gets real hard and real red right in here. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And there's some stuff on the side over here. That's real hard bottom right there. See the squiggly lines? Now I'm coming up to some rocks. On my side imaging, you can see the rocks to the right here and here. See how defined that is? Now I'm actually going down a ledge right here. Let me try to get over in this area here. But you can see how many rocks that are in this area right here. I'm going to try to get it to read on the sonar here real quick. Here we go. See that? That's what I'm looking for. I'm going through rocks right now. You can see little humps. And you can see it on the side imaging. It's pretty pronounced. But now you can see it here on the side imaging. Yeah, you can see where we're going right through it. There's more right here. That's a little ledge right there. You can see at the bottom of the ledge there's fish. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and fish it and see what we can do. A lot of people ask me too is when they're doing this type of fishing and they're talking about when they feel the bumps and they try to set the hook and the bait comes off and everything like that. What I like to do is try to be calm through all the little tap tap taps, because what's going to happen is those little grunts and stuff are going to attract the bigger fish, and when that happens, like they may have gotten my bait that fast. But when that happens, it attracts the bigger fish to the bait. So if you can, especially on cut bait, you'll feel a lot of ta 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 ta, and you're going to lose your bait and you're going to get frustrated. But if you continue to do it, you're going to get into the bigger fish. He hit a bear jig head. He hit it like a freight train, but I don't think he's that big. Another grouper. So that's what I thought I just lost my bait, which I think I still did. Not a bad little grouper. So if you're sitting there and it's tap, 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 tap. Wait for that tap, 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 and then that steady pull. When you feel that steady pull, that's when that fish has got it in its mouth. If you try to get them when they're tapping at it, you're most likely just going to pull that bait right off your hook because they're tapping it, and a lot of times it's snapper. Snapper like to do that. Grouper will usually thump it and then pull. But snapper and grunts like tap, 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 and then eventually hit it. So just be patient with that. It gets frustrating, trust me. It gets frustrating. But it lets you know that you're in fish. What I do is I put my line on the water and watch it move. And then when it stops is when I click the bail. Right now I'm using a 1 ounce chartreuse jig. I have found that the color doesn't seem to matter too much. Now if you're catching these, you know you're in the right area. So don't get frustrated if you're catching these. You can catch a lot of these on shrimp and squid and things like that. But if you're catching these, you know you're in the right area. And also don't get frustrated if you're catching small ones like this, because I can't tell you how many times that we've sat on a spot and caught little ones like this, and then as soon as a major or minor comes into play, we just start annihilating the bigger fish. So be patient in your spot unless you wear it out or get broken off a lot and it shuts down the bite, because what happens is when those grouper are down there and they get rocked up, they start to grunt. And it alerts all the fish in the area that something's not right. So when they're in there, they grunt, and the red grouper grunt, and it just shuts down the bite after you break off 4 or 5 times. So if you're fishing an area and you get broken off a bunch and the bite shuts off, that's exactly why. So just move. I would suggest, I don't stay in a spot too long, especially if we've broken off a bunch and the bite just shuts down. We just go to another spot. Right now with the tide still moving, I'm using a 1 ounce jig head, and because I'm in 46 feet of water, so I want to make sure I can get it down pretty quick. Now as the tide slows down, what I'll probably do is drop down to a 3/4 ounce and use that. I hook the pinfish right in through the bottom and then up through the top of the head. Gives them a natural look. Not very big, but he hit it immediately. Little grouper. Like I said, you'll go through the small ones to get to the big ones. Get him on the bottom. That fast. That's a better fish. Yeah, that's a good fish. Not bad. Thought he was going to be a little bit bigger than that, but still not a bad fish. 22 incher, 21, 22. It's amazing how strong they are. That's why I love fishing for these guys. Not only do they taste good, they're a heck of a fighter. Stupid dolphin. Hopefully this is the last really hot and muggy day we have for a while, because it's It's muggy out here today, no wind, just that front's coming through, and I think that's helping the bite. If there's ever a time that you can get out before a front of any kind, a tropical storm or anything, that barometric pressure is dropping, and when that's doing that, those fish put on the feedback big time. Sometimes what we'll do is, if we don't get hit when the bite's on pretty good, we'll just jiggle it a little bit and see what we can get. This guy said, I think he just stole my bait, but he didn't. I do the same thing with the whitebait. I hook them right through the top of the head and right through the bottom. I go through the top of the head on them instead of the pinfish. I go through the bottom. Don't ask me why, it's just how I do it. You could go through the top of the head on the pinfish too and it wouldn't affect it at all. Alright, we are in a major feeding time from 9:04 to 11:04. And I just lost a big fish and I had just turned off the camera. So hopefully this time I can send something down and we can get something on film. But then again, this tide is starting to slow down. It's supposed to, I think, top out at about 9:45, but it's definitely slowing down now to where I'm going to probably start chumming here shortly. God bless America. He hit the snot out of that. I don't know if you saw the hit on camera, but that was a good one. That was a good one. That time, that last one was on a pinfish. I'm sending down a whitebait. The first big one I had on was on a whitebait, so they don't seem to mind eating any kind of bait right now. Oh, that was a good fish. What I'm doing is I'm chumming. Just taking a little bit of a net full and dumping it in. And what it's doing is it's going this way and then stopping and coming back. And my screen is absolutely lit up right now. And the bite has been really good. We're right at the end of the major feeding time. It's been pretty good bite, but it seems to have gotten even better as the tide has slowed down even more. I'm getting those taps that I talked about before. There's snapper down there. There's a pull right there. Oh no, it just came off. That was a good fish. Just pulled off. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you get a better understanding of what I'm looking for when I'm looking at my sonar, and the difference between those little rolls and then the hard bottom where it kind of comes up a little bit and then flattens out. Those are the rocks. Now, those little round humps, those are the prop wash, the sand mounds that the prop wash from the big ships cause. So kind of pay attention to that, because a lot of times you think you're over good bottom when you're really over sand. So if you're not catching anything and you think you're over good bottom, you're probably not over good bottom. So take a little bit of time to learn how your depth finder reads the bottom, and it will just help you enhance your catches and get into the grouper and snapper a lot more. Again, we really appreciate the support. It's been overwhelming, to be honest with you. I know I keep saying that, but our channel is growing very quickly, and Chad and I truly appreciate that. We truly appreciate everybody that's bought jigs from us. As I mentioned in the Friday fishing forecast, we're going to be getting some fluorocarbon leader in. We've been testing that out. It's worked very well, so we're real happy about that. I'm still working on the braid. I thought I had some that was coming in that was going to be pretty good, but no. So anyway, again, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And stop by our website, tampabayfishingchannel.com. to look at the schooners, the tides, and even buy some jigs from us. Thanks again.